this is literally her power channel, that she's supposed to learn how to not go through that trauma anymore. She's supposed to capture all of these glimpses to evolve herself individually. And so we could go through trauma to evolve, right? When we have the universe hit us in the face. But she's like, no, I know that I don't have to have this trauma. If I start doing these baby steps, right, we can evolve without the trauma. How are you doing today, Dee?
I am absolutely amazing this morning. First of all, I love your intro. You like, you see my face? Yes, love it. I'm about to say Nicole. Sorry, I'm thinking about Nicole. Christine. Oh my gosh, and you're so right as far as like the portal and when they're gonna let Jesse and Angela in because together. I mean, they're so powerful separately, but you know, when you get two powerful energies together, sometimes you break the internet. Sometimes you do. So they do. So they will come in, and until they do come with their here in spirit, you guys know that they are here in spirit. And to answer your question, I am doing amazing this morning on the alignment activation meditation with Nicole. It was because, like you said, today is Wednesday. So, guys, drop your wins in the chat. What did you win? What did you champion? Or what do you plan on winning this week or today or this moment, this second? So drop that in the chat. And, of course, if you're watching us live, do hashtag live. And if you're watching us on the replay, do hashtag replay. And, of course, we want to know, where are you tuning in from? We don't know where you at. Come on, tell us where you at. Where are you at in the world? And this, which is so amazing to me, is that Zoom opened that up for us all to connect. I mean, not only just within our own country, but into other countries and all types of stuff. So it's really amazing to do that. So I know I went all the way around, so I'm coming back. So the way that I'm doing today, I'm doing amazing. On the alignment activation meditation, we were moving today, and we were moving and just opening space within us, you know, and so we was moving. So girl, I've been dancing already today and having a blast today already. So what about you? How you doing today, Queen?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I did me some yoga today already. I taught a beautiful class. I also wanted to say too, if you are watching us, can you drop down what your profile is for human design? I wanted to say, like, I would love to know where you are, but me, I really want to know is where, sorry, did I jump into the portal? I just got a phone call that I tried to hit real quick. I would love to know what your profile type is. Are you a manifestor? Are you a manifesting generator? Are you a projector? I just love to know what energies are drawn to this, what energies are here. Also is a great way for me to kind of know how I can interact the questions that I'm asking. But I am doing good. You know, I have been, you know, on these ebbs and these flows. Actually, I woke up feeling really good today. Yesterday, I didn't get a lot of good sleep, but last night I did. I woke up like ready to wake up, not like dragging out of bed. And so, sorry, I'm gonna have to. And so I feel good. I feel good today. I got up. I taught my class at one of my favorite places to teach. These people are just oh so grateful every time I show up. Wednesday is one of my favorite days. I get to go to one of my favorite places to teach, and then I get to come on and do lives with you. I start my day off so great. And then it's like, and then I'm going to breath work right after this around 1 o'clock. And so I'm going to shift and I'm going to move some stuff that way too. And so that's kind of my win for today, is that I didn't think I was going to be able to make it to breath work. And so I rearranged some stuff around, and then I am. And so I'm excited for that. So do you have a win for today other than moving and grooving? Are you feeling better, by the way?
Yes. My win today is that, okay, so Queens, if you guys didn't realize, or if you didn't watch the last couple of days of the Film Flame, right? I'm doing a water cleanse. It's actually it's a salt water cleanse. and I 10x'd it because the recipe called for a little bit of lemon, a little bit. So I'm like, what? I'm hardcore. Hello, I'm the sun goddess. So I put almost a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in there. So it's like, whoop, exactly. So I was only able to drink half of it. And then I'm like, I can't drink no more. I can't drink no more. So my win is, first of all, is that I said to myself that I was going to do this. So I took action and I did it. That was my first win. My second win is that I did not judge myself for not being able to drink the whole thing. Because that thing, woo, it was strong. It was so strong. Oh my gosh. And then my third win was that I got to the point to where I listened to my body and I was able to rest, because my body was like, because yesterday when I woke up, I had so much energy. I felt all light. I'm like, whoo, this cleanse worked great. I'm feeling all cool and great. And then like 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I'm so exhausted, and then it was before the feminine flame call. So I was like, oh, I want to do the call. In my mind, I couldn't think right. And so after the feminine flame call, I was like, I'm going to relax. I'm going to relax. And I'm saying this to say this to you guys because I used to have issues with taking care of myself. I used to honestly, I felt that I was being selfish. I felt I was betraying my family when I would, seclude myself either in a bath, goddess bath, or a meditation, or even a facial. I felt bad. So this is a big win for me to be able to say, okay, I see that you need to pay attention to my body, and I see that I need to relax and chill, and then I do it. So that's good. That is a really, really big win for me, girl.
And like last night, we were supposed to have a call, which, is late, and you honored yourself and you listened to yourself. And I think that's so important that you categorize it as a win and that we share that as a win, because so much in our society, we were taught, like you said, like you felt that guilt. It's because we're conditioned. And so this is why we are here in human design, deconditioning, but we're conditioned to push through. If you just push through, you'll be all right. And so we don't know how to listen to our bodies anymore. And there are times that, yeah, you do kind of want to get uncomfortable, right? We do have to kind of push outside of that comfort zone, but there's that balance. We have to know when we just got to break. And now you're feeling so much better, so much rested. Like if you push through, who knows, it could be days until you actually felt better, right? Like, so, and it's something that I've been practicing with as well. Reminding myself of those things. Like it's okay to take a break and to take some rest and come back. Gather.
Yes, and I found that when I wasn't listening to my body, it will get to the point to where my body physically made me take a break. And I don't want to experience that. I don't want to get like being sick or having a migraine or just being so exhausted to where you just can't even move. So I don't want to. I'm doing my best, and not even just in that, just in even growing. I'm trying my best not to, why do I have to wait for a trauma or a catalyst or some type of pain in order to move me, in order for me to level up and grow? So I'm implying that and trying to apply that in everything. So even with, like, I get an inkling of that I need to rest, then I rest. I don't wait till it gets to that point. Not anymore. And I don't see it as something that is just so, I'm just betraying the whole world by taking a nap,
Right. And I think that is so important about like, why do we have to let it to get to the trauma? Like if you can start to do that, then like, we hit these like obstacles, these changes, like we almost are like have to go through this trauma, this catalytic thing, or I won't be able to say it, so I'm going to stop. But we have to go through these big events to feel like we have to do that to change. But if you can do those small things, following those small little hunches, like those are those baby steps. So when you're naturally changing, you're naturally growing, you're naturally evolving. So it's not like one day the universe is like, girl, you were not listening to me. So here, all right, here's going to be the trauma. You need trauma to, you know, be your driver. Like you need that to be your motivator. Then I guess I'm going to have to get you some trauma. It's funny how the universe will answer to the questions that you have. And so I love that, because if you can start noticing those little things and taking action as like preventative, like, you know, like to, as nurture, like you're nurturing yourself, you're nurturing your body. And so pulling this into human design, just as a curiosity, because I would like, if we could look at your chart, but so our spleen is where is our driver of fear. And so like that center is like our motivator of like coming from fear, or like really like if we don't want to have to change or don't want to have to kind of do anything. And so just out of curiosity, like I just wanted to see maybe what if you had any gates defined in your spleen. I can't think of your chart right off the top of my head. I should be able to. I've looked at it enough, but but I was thinking, because I think our spleen would play a lot of that like motivator of being fear or worrisome, or like, and that to me is like trauma, like fear and stuff like that to me is like trauma. Like that's why, like, oh gosh, I'm going to lose my job. Like I gotta, you know, like we're worried that some part of security is going to be taken away. Like it could be any kind of fear. It doesn't just have to be like you're getting chased by a bear and you're going to die kind of fear, but it's like any of that stability. And so you do have some definition, which means that you can kind of know how to control that. And so going up to, and hold on, I want to just see that comment that you put in.
Yes.
Oh, an alchemist. Okay. Before I knew once I looked at your chart, I'm going to go on a tangent. And so I just saw, and I just want to congratulate and thank Deanna for putting her win in here, right? So she says that her first win was helping her sister, assisting her with high vibration so that she can plan with a high vibration, so she can plan went even better than expected. That's great. My second one was a job interview that felt so aligned with my dreams. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's so exciting. Especially, I love all the high vibe. Like you're attracting the things by being who you are, feeling in that alignment. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing. All right. So looking at your chart, so you do have some definition in your spleen. And so like your spleen, let's look at that like 57 to 34. So like we're talking about like taking action, right? And so you're like, all right, I'm going to take like preventative kind of action. And now if we look at 34 would be our sacral. That's like your energy motor. That's going to be where you're going to be getting a lot of your energy. And so kind of like maybe seeing, and I'm totally, this is like very intuitive. I don't even know what this channel is, but I'm just kind of looking at it as being that connector of, okay, if I want to have some energy to make some kind of shift, some kind of change, something, you know, let's see what, again, you have definition in this channel. You also have 57 in red and in black. And so that's going to be a more powerful gate because it's in both sides. So that means two different planets have it in there. So,
and then I'm wearing red and black today, so I just wanted to say that too.
all these little synchronicities coming in, right?
Right.
I love red and black together. Something about black just makes the red pop, pop, pop.
Yes.
Ah, the channel of power. This is the power. And so the background, just the general history of this channel is that it is a life force coming from our life force energy, which is our sacral, going to our survival intelligence, which is the spleen, keeping us alert, attuned with our bodies, and constantly on guard for anything that might be a threat to our immediate environment. And so 34 has great power to engage and sustain an activity. And so this is where we want to start and where we want to keep that energy going. Gate 57 operates on an inner sound vibration level, constantly penetrating and screening its environment. And so it is telling you through vibrations, through where you are on an energetic level, if this is something that is safe for you to be, if this is something that's going to make you thrive, something like that. And so without this defensive intuitive intelligence, excuse me. When these two gates are combined within a channel, an archetype emerges based in an ancient millennium memory with a fight or flight instinct to survive. And so without this defensive intuitive intelligence empowered to make us act spontaneously, we would not and could not have been able to evolve as a species. And so this is really where, you know, like you have this instinct to really know how to save and to generate. But if you can harness this power, and if you can start doing it before it was that fear, right? You're like, well, let's not do that trauma. Just like you were saying, like, why do we have to have that? Look at if we just did these small little bits, look how much faster we would evolve. So how beautiful. I'm getting so much chills right now. This is like, this was so divine that I picked this channel. And so it's through gate 57 that the entire awareness process begins to flower within humanity. And so you should share with what your findings are. How can we better this? And so intuition is rooted in our splenic awareness, and it arises instantaneously. It's free of time restraints of the mental and emotional awareness. And so in other words, it is never what we think is good for us and what will protect us, but rather how we intuitively respond to those vibrations of the people and the places around you. All about the vibes, my friends. Let's get out of how we think it is. It is how we feel. It's that vibration. You walk into a room and you can cut that tension with a knife. You're like, see you later. This is not my problem to deal with. I'm not taking this on, right? You have to learn to protect that. And so you have this power. And so looking through this, and this is it's black, it's conscious. And so this is something that you already knew. You're like, I can tap into my body. I'm learning this. You already knew, you started to feel it. And so here's this channel coming through. Is this resonating with you, girlfriend?
100%. Hello. Yes. Oh my gosh.
All right, so let's go a little deeper, because that's just the background that we just scraped at the surface. Okay, so let's talk about the personal. And so in order to react clearly and quickly, or to make those split-second decisions needed, you have to get out of the way. You have to constantly be grounded in and connected to your body. And so coming back, constantly coming back. And so this often means being highly selective regarding your verbal input to others, and always listening with your right ear. So the right ear is going to help you hear what others are saying. And so let's start practice and start strengthening that side. And so following your generator strategy frees you up to blend your spleen and your sacral power together, allowing it to bring you safely through each moment of your life. And so determined to keep you independent, alive, acoustically alert, and physically fit, this is an amazing capacity that you can learn how to trust completely. And so keep doing this. You can trust this. It's finely honed into your individual survival, and it does not take into account the needs and the wants of anybody else other than you. And so that's really important too. So yes, it is to share your story on that piece, but it's first meant for you to do it first. You put your face mask on, and you on the airplane, and you do everything for you first, and then you got to do after. And so, because if you try to include anybody else, you're going to end up skipping steps. You're not intuitively doing this. Is, remember, spleen tells us one time. Spleen is in the moment. Spleen is right now. Yeah, great power undergirdling the channel of the archetype. This is to experience of yourself as an awareness and a unique being. Once you're self-empowered, you become an inspiring example of what it means to enjoy being vitally alive, differentiated from any other human being. You're pure and unconditional. You're living moment to moment in response. And if you find yourself prone to melancholy, then embrace the moods without fixing them or figuring them out. Dude, this is like your freaking channel. Like, you are on your path. You are where you need to be, and keep tapping in and keep doing your grounding. Keep doing. because you are pure and unconditional, and the sun goddess is like beautiful. That is the perfect name for you. And you know what? The sun needs to go to sleep every single night, and she does not worry if the moon is doing its job or not, right? She turns off and she shuts down, and she trusts that the moon's doing what it needs to do.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It seems like this is totally what I am experiencing right now with my awakening, with the lotus opening up, the flower blooming, because this year, the last 2 years have been totally exactly what you said, learning myself, staying grounded, knowing that I do have some of those channels and that I did know that's what I was supposed to do, but I wasn't doing it. I was worried about someone else, and I like also what you were saying, trusting and knowing, like the sun and the moon. I do need to go to sleep. I do need to rest. Oh my gosh. I forget that sometimes, that I feel like I gotta go, go, go. I gotta always be on point, always be stage ready, but that's not harmony. That's not balance. And it was causing toxicity in my body,
Yeah.
in my multi-dimensional bodies, not just my physical, but the invisible realm as well too. So, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Christine. So yes, girl, this is my jam. What you're speaking of right now is my jam.
Yeah, and I mean 57 is that's the gate of our intuition insight. And so it's like the more we ground, the more we connect, the more we realize how it's for your path, right? Like, and I'm saying this too because I've been struggling with some imposter syndrome. And so like when we want to tap into our intuition, and I know you were talking about the NFTs and everything like that, and you're talking about like we're not experts. It's like how you feel. It's your intuition. It's what feels and resonates and everything, how it's right for you. And so, but that intuition comes from being grounded. We have to. And so thank you for sharing that. That was part of your process, that it wasn't like, oh, haha, I'm just going to do this. Like, you're like, no, this was 2 years of grounding and connecting back to D and be like, okay, what do I need to do? This is for me, not for somebody else. And that's the constant reminder that can be very challenging for me too. And especially when I teach yoga and I do so much grounding work in my work that I forget that by me teaching it or by me doing it for somebody else, that's not me practicing it for myself. And I have to do that a lot with yoga. Like, oh, well, I taught 2 classes today, but that's not yoga for me. I'm not breathing with my breath. I'm talking, I might be moving a little bit with them. And so we got to remember that we got to keep doing, and being in that.
Okay, wow. I mean, just you saying that right there just gave me a totally different perspective, because you're right. I was in a state of thinking that when I was showing up for others, that I was showing up for myself, and I wasn't. Because like you said, you were like you're teaching yoga, but you weren't being grounded with yourself. You weren't breathing. You're breathing for them to show them how to breathe, but you weren't. And you got some benefit, yes, but you didn't completely become grounded. So wow. And that just, oh my gosh, that just made me just think of so many things, because also when I've talked about like my big dream, my big manifestation dream for my family, and I kept thinking about all these things that I should do to get it, or just thinking of them, and then me getting the aha moment from the guides telling me that I have to work on me. I can't even be that woman that I see in the future with them unless I work on me first. And that was so hard at first, because I was still feeling like, okay, but if I'm not thinking about my daughter, or my twin flame, or that I was like betraying them and stuff, but I wasn't, because if I haven't changed, I'm going to be that exact same person I was with them 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And I don't want to be that. I don't want to do that. That's not going to happen. Let's say it like that. That's not acceptable. So I had to physically think about that. So, oh my gosh, Christine, that was really amazing. It's right on time. You're speaking literally my awakening right now. The 2 years. This is exactly what I had to do. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
And it's so good morning, ladies.
Grand Rising. Mwah.
Grand Rising.
Grand Rising.
I want to say too, like, I actually had a little aha as I was saying that to you, and about like being grounded and like teaching, and like when you're like, even when you're doing those visualizations of like dreaming in that way of like your family and all this future, and like, and me like teaching, and when I teach, I do very intuitively. Like I am actually not, I was thinking about it. I'm like, when we're doing some of those other things, we're really not grounded, because we're trying to be more, we're trying to fly a little higher. Like when I'm doing and teaching yoga, I feel like I'm flying high. I feel like I'm not grounded because I'm connected to source. I'm plugged in up there, you know, like that's why so many like yogis like actually take the practice to ground themselves back down, because we're always flying high. And so I feel like if you're connecting and you're dreaming and you're visualizing all of that, like there's a piece that I feel like when we're connected into source, we're flying high as well as grounding down. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like there's sometimes that you can be connected and you're speaking, and if you're getting all your downloads, that's flying high. I feel like you're flying high, you're connected, you are not here on this plane, you are. And so there are certain times, and that was my aha. I was like, well, yeah, no shit, I'm not grounded while I'm teaching or while I'm doing this, because, and even talking to you, and even like when I was reading that, like me doing my stuff with y'all on human design, like that's not even grounding for me, because I do feel like I'm out there. Like for me to pick that channel and to do all of that, that was through connection of source. I was intuitively guided. I was just trusting trusting. And so even when I get off the calls, like I then have to ground back down, and I have to come back to myself, and I have to kind of unplug from source and say, okay, now I'm back on this plane. And so I don't know, it's just kind of really beautiful how that all kind of webbed in together, because I had a little aha and you had a little ha-ha. And I feel like sometimes that's the part of the reminder of practice, that this is a practice every time, right? It's a practice every single day. We ground and we connect, and then we come back and we ground and we connect and we come back. And it's like, just because you connected once or you grounded once means that you're going to stay in either dimension, right? So good morning, ladies. You want to just jump in on what you feel about being connected and being, because I know both of you, like maybe you were lost in the portal already connected this morning.
That's so funny. Yes, go ahead, Jen.
No, there's definitely, that's the unity of it, being in high and being grounded at the same time, you know. And when we are high and receiving our messages, that's when we are connected. We're connected all the time, but that grounding is what we have to remember to do and remember to be. I remember when Master Sri was speaking about that, like when he said sometimes people woo-hoo, they want to just be floaty, but no, you have to maintain the grounding at the same time. That's what came to me when I first heard you say it.
Yeah. And I was saying to Angie with my cup right here, I was like, oh, this is why our spiritual team is saying we need to always stay grounded, because when we are, especially when we're online, because when we are online, we're filtering so much. There's so much that is coming through, because it's not, sometimes we don't recognize why it's coming through, but it's coming through for everybody. It's coming through for like everybody. So that's why it's so important when we go back to ourselves, that we go back to our practices and we go back to our walk. That's why my walks are so important to me, because like, especially this morning, I went and I sent one message, and then I posted it, and then I went for my walk, and then my guys were like, dude, did you just realize that you just did that? And I was like, oh, wait, what? I was like, wait, what? Come again? Because I woke up, I'm doing so many things at home, and for the show, and for this, and for that, and for this, and for that. And I was like, wait, what? Come again? Say that again. I'm sorry. Are you gonna have to repeat that again? What did I just do? And they said it to me again. I was like, oh, wait, what? That's a lot. But that's also part of being human, and also part of being, doing the work, and allowing all of the things to go through, and all of the beauty of things. I don't know, we really wasn't able to be on the show at the beginning, because we had some interesting things to deal with. And yeah, interesting, instead of calling it something else, interesting things to deal with. But we're here now, so we're gonna be continue to enjoy your flow, Christine, because we love it so much.
Christine, I was thinking also, because ladies, Angela and Yesenia, I had to say that, like that's Yesenia. Okay, so sorry, I'm sassy today. Watch it, I got on red and black, so I'm sassy, just letting you know. And I'm cleansed and sassy and red and black, so watch out. You never know. And wait, I got a new drink, but this is not as powerful. I only put like, yeah, it's not as powerful and it tastes good. Okay, but anyway, I digress. I noticed, Christine, because ladies, what we were talking about how when, especially us as teachers, as mothers, as leaders, when we are leading others and teaching others, we're helping them ground, but we're not grounding ourselves, because at that moment we're in the mindset of being a teacher, a leader, a mother, you know. So Christine was saying when she teaches yoga, she's helping them breathe, but she wasn't breathing for herself. So us as the teachers and leaders, influencers, all of those things, we have to balance and harmonize our grounding and make sure that we spend and take time for ourselves to align ourselves. And back on what Jessie was saying, especially with us being awakened, that means we can see more, meaning we can see more light and we can see more darkness. And we have to transmute those, file them correctly, transmute it correctly. But if we're always in the mindset of a teacher or a leader, then we don't give us that chance, you know, to actually do that, you know. Because I didn't have that download earlier, Christine, when we were talking about that. But I feel that that's why we're not grounding. That's why you weren't grounded when you were teaching yoga, because you were in that teacher mode. You're, okay, did so-and-so do that position right? Is their form right? Are they breathing right? Instead of you shutting off them eye gates and you were actually grounded yourself. So I feel that's the reason as to why that we need to make sure that we do our practices separately, outside of being a teacher.
And ladies, I wanted to just let you, like, kind of take it just one quick step back. Like, we came through this whole beautiful thing because Dee was like, you know what? I don't want to wait until I get to trauma. Mm-hmm. Like, I knew my body is tired. I need a little rest. She's like, I hear rest. It says rest. Like, I don't question it anymore. I don't try to push through anymore. I just do it. And so I said, hey, you know what? Let's look at your chart for a second. And like, literally, it just like, it was this beautiful channel. She has the channel of power. And literally, now that she has been so grounded, that she's taken this 2 years of practice to learn how to ground herself and to listen to herself, this is literally her power channel that she's supposed to learn how to not go through that trauma anymore. She's supposed to capture all of these glimpses to evolve herself individually. And so we could go through trauma to evolve, right? When we have the universe hit us in the face, but she's like, no, I know that I don't have to have this trauma. If I start doing these baby steps, right, we can evolve without the trauma. And so it was just so beautiful how we tied it into the chart. But I did actually want to ask Angela a question, because Dee and Dee, like, and this is so beautiful too, just because we're all in this same other beautiful space, and how it's kind of connecting too, because Dee wasn't able to come on our call last night. And so her honoring that self-care was really what spiraled this. But now Angela was on our call last night, and she was like, girl, I can't wait to show you about my chart. And so now I am so excited to see what Angela's question is, and like kind of where she wanted to kind of bring the human design piece into it, or where I could help you, because I know you've been going through some stuff. And so let's see if we can find maybe a power channel for you to help you harness on.
Yeah, yesterday was something, and I really couldn't talk last night, right? I know. Like joining in, being in the sisterhood and having that safe space, and just really, yeah, just really like a warm hug. because I was working on some things. And my question was, you know, I've been working on things with my mother. I don't think I said that last night, but that's what it was. That was what it was for. And I just shared that I was working on some things, but my heart chakra and my root chakra are the two that I'm focusing on. I was focusing on my root because I know that's where we hold all of our challenges, and just recognizing the energy that I've stored there and what I need to transmute and release and how I store it, you know, because I have realized I have a tendency to excuse what I or make it into something else, what I feel. And I just want to know on those gates in my root chakra, what does that mean? Because I know I'm an alchemist, and I know I create. I'm a manifester. I'm an alchemist, and it I have a flair for that, and that flair got to go, because I want to see things how they are, and not how not to excuse the challenges. You know what I mean? You understand?
Oh, she does. Can I ring my bell before we go there, Christine, please? Because it's been I can't wait to hear this, because my guys are like screaming at me with it, and I was like, you know, the fact that before you go there, the fact that Dee had that revolution yesterday, and this morning when we were in the situation and where we were at, she said, I want to do this. I said, no. I said, hold on. Let's not call up on that right now. So the fact that you transmute the trauma part, and all of that came through, and then this morning the guys were like, no, let's not call up on this until we handle this situation that we have going on. So please get in there, Christine.
Can you share?
Yeah.
Can you share your chart? Like, do you have your root? I can't remember. Halima did ask in the comments, so if we just want to go, so I'm a manifesting generator. We asked the audience to put down in the chat, in the comments, what they are. And I think she was actually asking who we are, because I know Halima has some human design knowledge too. So she just wanted to know if we could all share who we are and our profile and our numbers. So I am a manifesting generator. I am a 1-3, all about investigating and exploring and hopping around. D, you're the same, MG 1-3, right? Yeah. Yeah.
MG 1-3, MG what? Yes.
Jesse, you're manifesting? Yeah. What's your profile?
Oh, hold on.
Your fractions. I can't.
I'm actually open. Oh wait, no, this is not right. I changed my computer. Oh my goodness. I downloaded Windows 11, and everything has changed. All right, here we go.
Jesse's a manifesting generator 3-5. And Angela, I might have your chart. I'm looking for it now. Come on, I can't help it. I am embracing my human design because it's me, right? You give me a challenge, and I'm like, look in the background. So hello, my name's Deanna. I'm the sun goddess. I'm a manifesting generator.
Oh, such joy.
Are you gonna share? Do you have the capability to? Or if not, just show me some of your route, because or tell me maybe a couple of the gates. But talking about like the root and like really what it is in like human design too, is it's our pressure gauge. And so it's trying to, this is where you're feeling that timing pressing, the timer pressure of what you want to do or how fast you should be doing or how you want to heal it. And so when you're feeling that kind of pressure, that's coming from the root chakra. It has a lot to do with our foundations. It's also a lot of our timing gauge on like reproduction and our generations coming down the line and all of that.
I'm still looking for your chart, Angela. I'm looking in the human design chat. but it's going to take me a minute. So if you have it,
I do.
and if you can't share, if you can just send it to me, I can share it. So either way.
I'll share it.
Okay.
Can you all see it? You might make it bigger.
Oh, so you got a completely open route. That's why.
Remember we were speaking about that last week,
Yes.
and I only have 30 that's halfway coming into, and it's not complete.
To 1. Right. And so did we talk about that channel? The
No,
41?
we stopped to ask if others had questions.
Okay. And so let's look at that channel first, but being completely open. So let's just kind of jump first into like just the open route itself. And so when it's completely open, this is going to be, and so looking at your chart, this is going to be your greatest lesson, right? And we did talk about this because there is no definition there, and she has definition in everywhere else. And so this is going to be her greatest teacher as she explores going throughout, right? And so the adrenals, the pressure, and so when it is completely open, you experience a full range of pressure, from deep stillness of focused concentration to intense hyperactivity, and you just don't understand it. And so sometimes you could be going really, really fast, or sometimes you are just really, really slow. And so if you're not paying attention to your authority, though, you can let that go on and on and on. And so you automatically could answer the phone and say yes, and you could speed up. You could trip over things, right? And you're not really understanding. And so for you, it really is grounding down. And so the not self-talk, when you're in the undefined, is the spokesperson. It tells us what we should say or what we should do. And so noticing the talk is essential to deconditioning. And so you're talking about stuff with your mother and all of these things and a lot of conditioning processes. And for you, a lot of these things, I would talk to it and ask it questions and say, Angela, why are you feeling this way? You have the security and the stability with this. Like, this is an energy that is like coming through you. Like, how can you speak to it? Where's my purpose? What am I going to do to make my life better? Are some of these questions that, have I archived something in my life? Should I hurry up to get some things done? Do I have to start something new now? Am I leaving this big grand, legacy behind? And so these are all the questions that having that undefined root. And so again, learning how to ground down, how to find that. And so let's look at 30 to 41. And so when you are starting to have some energy coming that way, or even emotions coming that way, and it might get kind of stuck. Sometimes I like to say that the hanging gates kind of do feel like a blockage or getting stuck, especially if you don't understand, because the energy is trying to go down the road and then it kind of gets lost. And so let's see, 244. And so this energy, 44, if you are in numbers. So, right, 244, 224. Dyslexic sometimes with my numbers. Okay, so the channel of recognition. Learning to recognize these things. And so yet again, great way to kind of talk it through it, just feel it. And so many other so many things, it's not meant for us to change or to fix or to do. We just have to kind of sit with it, right? We're not meant to change it. And so let's talk a little bit about the background of this channel. And so it's a little bit more about the kind of the physical part of it. And so genetically speaking, the 41st hexagram is initiating the codon in our DNA. And so when the sun moves into gate 41 in January every year, we begin a new solar cycle, a new year. It's an intimate and a psychological process in humanity that keeps us evolving together. All possibilities of human experience are stored in this gate. And the entire experimental process is driven by the root-fueled desire for new experiences and expectations that can be stated until the end. And so this is about carrying on through the end of time, right? Those kind of experiences. And so the hunger can only be satisfied temporarily. It's an abstract process that's focused on accomplishment, on the completion of a cycle, and is driven by the desire or expectation that doing something will overcome boredom. This is the beginning of the human experimental way, our cultural evolution, the progression of the ignorance and the innocence of the inexperienced to the wisdom of the lessons learned through experience. And this really accumulates in gate 36 and through 35. And those are the two energies, 36 to 35. And so it's saying that this channel goes all the way up the outer part. So if we can see 41 down on the bottom, it's that whole outer channel. And so it's saying that this whole thing is going to go in through your solar plexus, and then it's going to come up through the solar plexus to the gate. And so if we're talking about this as a whole complete channel, if we look at Angela, well, we're missing 41, so we got a little block there. And then we're missing 36, so we got a little block there. And so for her to learn what 41 and 36 kind of feel in her body, to learn how to explore these gates so that when she starts to have this feeling of uncertainty or whatever, she can intentionally start to use these gates and use the channels. Because remember, just because they're white doesn't mean she does not have them. We have all of the chart. She just has to be a little bit more direct and sending her energy through. And so 41 is the gate of contraction. It initiates the human experience as a way of hunger to the emotions. And so for you, you're a manifesting generator, or you're a generator. And so you're going to really want to make sure that the experiences that you decide to jump into are hell yeses, but we also want to make sure that you're still jumping into experiences. And so because you don't have 41, you might not know, maybe sometimes you feel kind of low if people aren't inviting you to things. You're kind of like, you kind of feel very like almost mundane, like they used that word before. You're just kind of even keeled because you're not having this energy to initiate the excitement. But then somebody's like, hey, Angela, why don't you try this experience to enlighten, to increase your thing, like you and Jesse working together. She's like, let's take more walks. Let's do this. Maybe that's not something you would have done, but she's now initiating that process. And then you're like, oh, okay, maybe I could add this into my routine. And it's not saying that you got to do what she's doing or whatever, you know, but there's that piece of the initiation process that you're missing. And there's different, remember, you're a generator and we don't want to initiate. We still got to wait to respond. But this initiation is about making experiences for yourself and going out. And so we still have to, as generators, we still initiate our, you know, like I go do yoga to ground myself. We still initiate our healing and our grounding and our things that our body needs to do. That's a process that we can initiate. And so if you, hold on, Venus is a gateway. Okay. In doing so, you need to not fear the fates. Okay. So gate 30 is the gate of feelings. And so, hold on, 41 drives you towards satisfying your desire and fulfilling your destiny, both of which rest in the hands of gate 30. And so gate 30 is the gate of feelings. This gate of fate teaches us that life is not what we expect it to be. It is what we allow it to be. It is how we experience the experience, right? You and I can do the exact same thing and we can have two totally different outcomes because it all depends on our energy that we're putting in, our intention that we're putting in, our feelings that we're putting in. If I'm walking into it being like, this isn't going to work, it's not going to work. And Angela is like, this is going to be the best thing ever. And she like walks out and she's completely healed. And I'm like, well, what the hell? It didn't do anything for me. That is because we have two different emotions, right? Going into it. And so you have that emotional drive, you have that 30 there. And so this desire can feel like an obsessive hunger that weaves the yearning of different lives together, influencing your every interaction until you're satisfied and fulfilled. And so this is about being satisfied and fulfilled, not being right or wrong, not looking at an experience because like it wasted your time, right? We have to get out of that, like, oh, that was a waste of time. No, it was a polarity thing. It taught you that you didn't like it. So now you know that you're not going to do it again, right? And so that you can keep doing the satisfaction. And so only control you have is over the clarity with which you enter into each experience. Not the outcome. right? That emotion of how you enter in, how your intention is when you enter in. And we don't have the intention of what the outcome is going to be, right? We have the intention of going in, what is this experience going to teach me? What am I going to learn from this, right? Being open-ended, being wondrous about it, so that whatever the result is the result is, you know? And so over time, you'll see that freedom to fulfill your wildest dreams is merely an illusion and an unreciprocated desire that should not be taken personally. Balance in your life comes through surrendering, through accepting what is. And it's kind of interesting that that piece was in there, because I think I was talking to you maybe about manifestation. Were we talking about manifestation and about like, even about manifestation, like in the 3D world of like, oh, I want to be a millionaire and I want to have all this millions and do all of this. But then it's like, that's still materialism, right? We don't want the materialist thing. We want to have the abundance to be able to go explore and to travel and to do whatever we want, which we need the money to be able to do that. But it's the feeling of what that gives us, that freedom, that love that it gives us. It's not the material thing of the money. And I think that's what so many people get caught up in, is that, oh, we have to have this $1 million. I'm going to manifest $1 million. I need this $1 million. And there's no emotion to that, because they're not thinking about what they're going to get with that $1 million when you can attach that emotion to, and you're like, I want that freedom. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to do this. Do I need $1 million to do that? No, I could have $10,000 and still be happy to do that. Right. And so attaching, when you can surrender and just release and say, no, I want to just live my life and let it bring me these blessings. And so that's that 30 of learning to surrender into that. And can you stop your screen share for just a moment? And then Angela, so hold on, Christine, on days the root is active, Angela can have access to the energy, which is a great question. So like, for Tiffany was asking about transit energy. She was saying like on days when we do have the transit energy, yeah, that would be a great time if you know that any gate in the root, right? And Tiffany is right. Any of the energy there is at least going to give you a little anchor. And so then you could be like, all right, let's play with 41, right? Let's play around with 41, like initiating some fun new experiences. Like if you don't feel entitled to do that, right? If you're kind of feeling that lag, then remember, we check in, we tap in, and it could just be maybe you were home with family, you were doing different experiences, and that's kind of why you were feeling what you were feeling. And maybe they don't understand we don't go into experiences. A lot of people think we go into experiences for the end result. And I get stuck in that a lot with my family. And they're like, well, why are you doing that? Are you getting paid for that? Is that part of your job? Is that, you know? And it's like, well, no, I'm doing this because I want to see who I'm going to meet. I'm doing this to see, you know, if it connects me with somebody else. So sorry.
No, sorry. So much aha moments.
Let it out, Queen. Let it out.
Oh, I love
Let
you.
it out. Don't hold it. Do not hold it. Let it free. It wants to move.
We're going to the park later to move it.
Yes,
So,
we are.
and this was already planned, but the guys said we would come here. We actually wasn't gonna come to the live, and then the guys were like, "No, you need to go to the live." And then we gotta go to the park. So yeah, so thank you.
Yes. And you know, going to Sedona and doing your whole 30-day thing that you like, that was already initiating, like that is sparking that 41, because you're going like, you know, and so whether, I don't know who the idea, but also maybe looking at y'all's charts all together, because now it's like, can we kind of marry and see where there's some of these hanging gates? Maybe Dee has 41, maybe Jessie has 41. And maybe that's why that sparked whatever. But we also have to remember the energy that's around us will spark those other gates. It will get it going. And so or maybe it could be somebody in your family had that 41, and that's kind of why it sparked some of these emotions too, you know? And so that's the beauty and the understanding of why we want to know other people's charts with the energy around us. And so, but a lot of it is just so many people just don't understand that experiences aren't meant to to get a result. We're here to live and to have fun and to have joy and to just do. And what we get from it is a bonus, right? Like whatever we get after is the gift. It's the bonus. That's like, oh, cool. You're going to tell me I'm going to get a prize after I did this? Like, you're going to pay me? Great. I was going to do it anyways. Like, that's where we're getting from.
So I want to say, so first of all, I want to say that thank you, we love you, yes. And we see on the chart. So I was telling Ange, I don't know if it was yesterday or today. I said it's okay because D has what we need.
Yes, she did.
I said it's okay. D has it. It's okay. And then the guys were saying this to me. It's okay. D has it. It's okay. It's okay. But I didn't know what we were talking about. But when you said that, and then
we have boom.
Hold on.
Okay. Got you. Cause I got 41. They don't, but I do. Boom. What? You ain't ready? You're not ready for the Trinity? We got each other. You are not ready.
Oh man.
That is really that, like, you know, like Halima and I were talking about, like, you know, working with kids and like teaching kids and stuff like that. And that's going to be the real power when we can get these young ones to learn how we can work together. Like, I don't got to worry. I can relax now. Look at my friend over there has got this gate and he's going to help me and we're going to power up. And now we're this much stronger. And I had said this, I'm like, this is about teaming up for collaboration and breaking down competition. Right now, our schooling system is about competition. Like who's going to be valedictorian? You got to be valedictorian. You got to be the smartest kid, right? We're building up for competition. It's like, no, why can't we just pull everybody's gifts together and work in collaboration and then go that much bigger and that much stronger? And so it's funny, there's two other girls that I follow. They're actually in UA. I met them in Costa Rica, Sasha and Yana, and they teamed up and they actually started this Instagram. They started a show very similar to you, but they were saying that they are going to work. They're like, we're partners to work in. We are holding, and this is exactly what you ladies are doing. You are holding each other accountable. You are saying that I'm going to do my shadow work today. Well, can I call you when I'm crying in a puddle of mush because I am going through? Will you read my letter? Can I read my letter out loud to my mother and burn it? Like you all told me you did, like a beautiful ceremony. Like having that hand to hold, to walk through, and then learning your charts together and working together and teaming up together is what we need, because it's hard, it's scary, and it's dark. And we need other people to help us push through and to hold our hand and to be like, we're doing the same kind of thing together. And so utilize the energies together.
And you know, that lines up too, because, okay, we are social energy, okay, because we're all connected. We're all one. We're all different expressions of the whole. So we do need each other. And in that we have 360 protection, love, help, leveling up, kindness. Because like what Christine said, y'all don't have what you want, but I do. I got you, boo. I got your back. But think about what, and where I'm about to go with it is to the audience. Get you a tribe, get you some queens, get you some women that when they see you, they're not challenged by you. They see you and they want to encourage you. They want to speak into you. They want to uplift you. They want to just love you. And if you don't have some, you do now. Come with us. You do now. What's up? And let's make sure that everyone that you are seeing and talking to, get them into doing their human design chart so you can help them know who they are. And then, because you might not know that maybe your neighbor got some defined stuff that you don't. And you talk to her every day, boo, but just don't realize that she is what you need to help complete you. Hello, we're all one. So get your chart. Get your chart. Okay, Christine, go ahead.
Well, I was actually just looking at the time and I was like, oh my God, it's 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock your time. And I was like, I got some breath work that I got to get to go to. And I got about like 15 more minutes. And so I was actually just going to think about, I just saw in the chart or in the comments, Halima just said like, yes, like the next generation, you know, and this is us doing this work and sharing this and doing this is breaking these curses and helping our kids realize like, you don't got to be the same. And it's also helping us break out of some of those pressures, as especially as a parent, and like if your kid is still in the traditional schooling system and it's like, yeah, you still want them to do good, but how can we teach them about some like stress relief activities or some things to help them ground so that they aren't feeling all of this external pressure from their peers. Their peers are already so tensed up and so nervous, right? And so if you have, like, I know Jesse's got teenage kids and she's already working with her kids through it, and so it's like, how can they help do that as well too? Because then, you know, then at least you can help relieve some of their anxiety as they're getting ready to do college and all of that stuff too. So giving them those tools to help them realize that, and then that's going to help spread down, and we're going to help break more and more and more and more. And so I have a couple Penta. Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments. Okay, so Helmia said Penta. What does KCP call Penta WA? I can't wait to learn. I don't know what Penta is. I don't know what that is, but KCP is Karen Curry Parker. And so I just don't know what Penta WA is. I don't know what that means. And then Tiffany says, my husband was talking about competition last night, run a studio space here, live in a small town, worried about being competition with them. Why does it need to be a competition, right? And you know, that is a great thing because there's yoga studios, and I'm friends with a couple of different yogis who we all started teaching at this one yoga studio. And one girl was like, I want to open my own. And she's like, oh, the other owner is going to be so mad, it's competition. But she does aerial yoga. She does these silks. She does something complete. I'm like, stay with your niche, do what you love to do. Like, you're the only one in town that does that. There's so many different types of yoga. There's so many different types of people that want to come to your class. There's so many different levels of energy. And so, yeah, why does it need to be a collaboration? We can offer so many different things. Like, it doesn't need to be, and I mean, why does it need to be a competition? It should be more of a collaboration. Like, all right, you already have, this is your main population. Like, I'm not trying to steal your clients, but what if we just kind of offer this afterwards? Or this could be something that they can mix in with that kind of style, right? And let's collaborate. Like, I already have, like, especially if you're in a small town, Tiffany, like, look at what that studio is already doing. Is there something that you could do that would like bump it up? Or maybe, like, you know, for like yoga, we could always have like a more upbeat yoga or more relaxed yoga. Like, how could you complement it so that you could take your clients and then you could share your client list with their client list, and so you could all work together and you're not in competition. Like, they need to do this 3 times a week just like they need to do this 3 times a week, right? And blend it all together. And so having that awareness and looking at that, or even maybe seeing if they want to expand and you all go in together, and right, why not expand the whole thing or offer more of a franchise thing, like become this one huge thing. Maybe you look at all their charts and you ask them, hey, can I have your birthday and what time you were born? I want to see what kind of energy you're at. Okay, let's see if we should work together. But so many different ways that when we start realizing that everybody's got all these different gifts, and like, we should start to work together and start to collaborate together and not fight that. All right, let's see, what deck do we want today? What we want human design, we want a fairy, we want some yoga. Who wants to pick a deck?
Do you, boo? Just be like, where you feel it, touch it, and do it.
But before you get your deck, Christine, I want to say to everybody that last night when we were working together on whatever we were working on for the healing and the elevation of the planet. Before I went outside to take a breather and breathe with the moon and stuff like that. So one of I wrote that's what my guides were saying to us. You know, I had asked her about some stuff that came through, right? And then it's not a competition, it's a collaboration. So that's what my guys were like saying, like really deep and loud. And, you know, this is my moon journal that I use most of the time. And then I went for it to take a shower and to continue my healing for whatever I needed to do, and for my grounding after I finished the work. And it was so strong. Even when I went to shower, it was like, it's not a competition, it's a collaboration. This is why we're doing this. This is why we're so heavy on this energy. This is why we we go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, I never questioned that. I just go straight on, let's do it. But there's others that questions and say, why, what's going on? So yeah, so I love that you said that instead of using our gifts to punish each other or to like turn our backs on each other or to walk away, we should use our gifts to collaborate and instead of compete, because competing is just not coming from that beautiful, wonderful, bright, loving light.
Yes.
They're going crazy in the chat. Sorry, guys, if you see me laughing, I'm over here kicking it. Kalita's like, y'all lit, you know? And then Tiffany said, every day, honey, every day. every day. Because we can't help it. We can't help it.
I know. We're lit because I did get I chose from the white light deck. I don't usually choose this deck very often. Actually not a lot ever on any of my card pulls. I kind of keep this for myself, but this is my white light oracle deck. Jesse and I gave Jesse a very beautiful message the other night. We got the Yogini today. I've never gotten this card. I'm super excited to read it. The Yogini, and how beautiful, because there are 4 Yoginis in the house right now. And so number 14, Yogini. These are, I'm going to let you know, these are really long readings, and I intuitively pull out. If I will put the whole thing in the chat, and Jessie probably noticed that, because when I read to her and then I gave her the whole reading, I should have probably realized that I didn't read the whole thing. And so that's just kind of how I do, just to let you know. That's how I do. I don't do the whole thing. All right. And so Yogini, changes in your life, including closing doors or missed opportunities, are not going to derail your fulfillment. Realignments are happening based on divine wisdom and timing. You are being diverted from the unnecessary obstacles and suffering. Trust in how your path is unfolding. Stay true to your authentic healing, because it's working, whether you realize it or not. Significant inner healing is taking place. In a numerous spiritual tradition of the East, such as those from Nepal, Tibet, and India, the Yogini is the female spiritual adept and a practitioner of deep yoga that awakens the powerful connection with one's real inner being. The Yogini holds space for healing and enlightenment, moving through the obstacles and challenges with wisdom, patience, commitment, and often great joy. She is our spiritual sister, our sacred friend, and our guide away from the bleak, erroneous thinking of the ego into the softened, awakened, relaxed, gracious way of the spirit. When this card makes her presence felt in a reading, it's a sign that we are on a powerful healing journey to connect the body, mind, and soul with the truth of our spiritual nature. We are working at an inner level to let go of past pains and opening up our empowerment and grace, dignity, and legitimacy into the present moment. This oracle indicates that the spiritual approach to heal anything and all struggles is in our lives. The tone 285 Hz supports the treatment of wounds, cuts, and burns, and any other damaged tissues. It's the tone of optimal health. Just like the Yogini, who has access to the original vitality of our spirit and seeks to infuse the well-being into the body, mind, and soul. This tone is healing and correcting that which has fallen out of alignment, will bring it back into center. As a frequency of a cosmic blueprint, it helps heal our physical body. It aligns us on our soul's journey, synchronizing our inner and outer lives. If you have felt conflict between your inner aspirations and your outer reality, this oracle indicates it's time for healing. The time for the healing has come. The soul's blueprint is the original soul spiritual plan, and it has an innate guiding system within each one of us that knows exactly what is meant to be. Just like a caterpillar knows that with patience, it will turn into a butterfly. It can dissolve inherited pain, psychological struggles, and allow projections from others, which may be influencing us, to cease and to have no effect. Under this influence of the frequency, we can embrace who we really are. If you're feeling disoriented or conflict by choice, trust that chaos is a consequence of a cosmic realignment in your life. Move with it. Trust in your heart that with patience and willingness to keep faith, you will find your way. Just like the alchemy of the caterpillar into the butterfly, your inner transformation shall shape you into your beautiful world, inspired in authentic form. So beautiful. I allow for the spiritual intervention of divine grace to recalibrate, realign, heal, and renew me so that I am empowered, radiate, and have fully embodied my original spiritual potential and true frequency. So it be. I embrace healing empowerment of my own authenticity.
Okay, if that didn't set y'all on fire, I'm over here vibrating. Well, it could be the cayenne pepper in my drink, but I know it's not. What? Ooh, I feel like cayenne right now. Oh my gosh. Christine, please tell me again the name of that card and the deck because I need to read. I want to read that again. I might print it out and put it everywhere in the house because that was powerful. Okay.
So this card, this is the 𝐂𝐋𝐈𝐂𝐂, the 270 or 285 hertz, number 14. And then if you want to buy the deck, it is Alana Fairchild. She has some amazing decks. It's the White Light Oracle. This is kind of my real spiritual deck. I use this a lot for myself and to just kind of connect back, but the messages are beautiful. And I don't think we could have gotten a more perfect one for everything that we were talking about today, between even Dee's line and Angela's line, the two connections that we were talking about how we just need to come back to that. We need to ground, we need to come back to these realignments. And we also need to realize that these experiences, these hiccups, these challenges are just helping us come back to our joy, right? They're not a mistake. They're not anything to make us suffer on purpose, right? They're just helping us come back to where we need to be. Final notes, ladies.
All I want to do is dance, because that card just went with the cards that I pulled this morning for more deep healing. So I just want to say that, and I love you guys so much. Christine, you know how close you are to my heart. So, I never have to say it, but
I mirror that. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Oh, so grateful right now. Dee, you started, you can end it.
Yeah. You think?
Well, actually, Christine started it. She don't play, okay? Because I'm on the back end. So, Christine, close us out, please. If you will.
Thank you all so much for joining the Feminine Flame today on this Wednesday with the Human Design Fairy. Give yourself grace, give yourself patience, connect, ground down, and find yourself a tribe. Find yourself a tribe that will love and collaborate and work with you and grow with you. Love you all. See you tomorrow. I'll be watching y'all tomorrow. I'll see you next week. Bye.